The academy kid. At around 6 or 7 years old, some children get spotted in school PE lessons, Sunday league games, or just kicking a ball in the park. A scout sees something. It might be balance, or the way they control the ball without thinking about it. They get invited to train with a professional club's academy, and from that moment, life changes quietly but completely. Training sessions replace free weekends. Parents drive long distances twice, sometimes 3 times a week. The child is just playing, mostly unaware of what it all means. But the club is already watching closely, assessing every session, every attitude, every small detail. The under-18 player. By the teenage years, the group has thinned out considerably. Many boys who started at 8 or 9 are gone, released, moved on, or simply outgrown by others. The ones who remain are now in a serious environment. They train every day, study the game in video sessions, follow strict nutrition and sleep guidelines set by the club. School still happens, but football is clearly the priority. At this level, the emotional weight becomes real for the first time. Players start to feel the pressure of being judged constantly, knowing that each season could be their last at the club. Friendships form fast here, partly because everyone understands what the others are going through. The youth team breakthrough. A small number of players make it to the under-21 or reserve squad, and this is where the real divide begins. Some continue to develop steadily. Others peak here and never go further. The training is closer to the first team in intensity and structure. Occasionally, a manager calls a young player into senior training for a few days, and that experience alone, being around established professionals, changes how they see themselves and what they believe is possible. For many, this stage lasts 2 or 3 years before a decision is made about their future at the club. The professional debut, making a first-team appearance, is not as cinematic as most people imagine. It often comes in a cup game, a midweek fixture, or as a late substitute in a match already decided. The player might touch the ball 4 times. But the significance is enormous. They are now a professional in the truest sense. Their name appears in the official records of the sport. Their contract, which was likely modest until this point, may begin to improve. The debut is also the moment when outside attention arrives, social media followers increase, local journalists ask for interviews, and family gatherings feel different. The loan spell. For players who are not quite ready to hold a first-team spot, the loan move is almost a rite of passage. A club further down the league structure takes them for 6 months or a season to play regular football. The experience is jarring at first. The training facilities are smaller, the travel is longer, the crowds are quieter, and the dressing room culture is entirely different. But playing week in, week out, does something that training simply cannot. It builds decision-making under real pressure. Some players return from loans transformed. Others struggle to adapt and come back having made little progress. The loan spell often determines whether a career accelerates or stalls. The journeyman phase. Not every professional becomes a star, and the majority of footballers spend their careers moving between clubs, filling squad roles, contributing without becoming household names. A journeyman might play for 8 or 10 different teams across a career spanning 15 years. They know every training ground ritual, every dressing room dynamic. They adapt quickly because they have had to. The income is professional but rarely extraordinary. They understand the business of football clearly, perhaps better than those above them, because they have never been insulated from it. These players are often the most respected in a dressing room, valued for experience and reliability, rather than moments of brilliance. The top-flight regular. Establishing yourself in a top division is one thing. Staying there is another entirely. A player at this level earns significant money, lives in a different world from the one they grew up in, and faces scrutiny that touches almost every part of life. Form dips attract media attention. Performances are analyzed in statistics that the public discusses openly. The body is managed like a machine. Recovery sessions, specialist physios, careful diet, and sleep tracking. The mental side of the game demands just as much attention. Players at this level often speak later in life about how lonely it could feel, surrounded by people but uncertain who among them was genuine. The star player. A step above being a regular starter is being the one the team is built around. At this level, a player's name sells shirts in countries they have never visited. Transfer fees reach figures that seem disconnected from reality. Sponsorship deals arrive from brands far outside football. Every press conference before a match circles back to them. The expectations become enormous, not just to perform, but to perform brilliantly, consistently, in every competition, in every big moment. Some players thrive under this weight. Others find that the higher the platform, the more exposed every human limitation becomes. The international icon. Representing your country is a different kind of pressure altogether. Club football has a rhythm and a structure that players learn to manage. International tournaments arrive every 2 years and compress everything. The hope of an entire nation, sometimes hundreds of millions of people, into a few weeks. A player at this level carries that weight publicly. Their performances in World Cups and continental championships become the chapters that define them in the popular memory of the sport. Goals scored or missed in those moments follow a player for the rest of their life, long after any league title or domestic trophy has faded in conversation. The Ballon d'Or. At the very peak of the sport sits an award that, for all its debate and occasional controversy, still represents something real: the recognition that in a given year, one player was operating at a level that separated them from everyone else on the planet. Winning the Ballon d'Or means you have not just been excellent. You have been the best, as judged by people who watch football professionally across every major league and competition in the world. The ceremony itself is a quiet, formal affair compared to the scale of what it represents. Players who win it once speak about a strange stillness that follows, a moment of realizing that the thing they have worked toward since childhood has actually arrived. Players who win it multiple times enter a conversation about the history of the sport itself, their names placed alongside figures from decades past, who shaped what football became.